Hey, for YouTube, cosasverdes. I'm not dead, or at least not yet. I'd been pretty sick for quite a while. Feel better the last 2 days. So enough about me. Let's jump into Ethereum. I just got done piecing this together on the YouTube member stream. So if you want to check that out, there's a join button that you can see right next to the subscribe button down below. And for returning viewers, I'm not talking to new viewers. You don't know what the heck I'm talking about right now. But for returning viewers, heads up on what this video will be. I just pieced all this together during the stream, and I'm still streaming for my paid-for YouTube community. And I'm recording this right now after I've gotten it done. I'm not going to tell you where I think this is going, but I'm going to show you the tools that I'm using. So I'm using a hammer and a nail, right? But I'm not letting you know, am I first going to rip out a few nails before I put that nail in? I'm not going to show you how I'm going to use the tools because I need to separate the value provided for free YouTube versus there. And it's going to be a little bit of change. That's why I'm kind of blabbing on about it. But let's jump into this. This will be a little bit more bland, but I'm still showing the tools I will be using. So for new viewers, what you're seeing up here are called origin lines. You will not see these on anybody else's channel on YouTube because I made these, and I named them origin lines. So the name origin line comes from my channel. That's what those are. They go to the origin of price. This is Ethereum price, and you can see back here, Ethereum was $8. And we are actually under that same line now at $26.95. See that yellow line? Boom, that's where it started. That's the lowest it's ever been. And now Ethereum is technically under that lowest it's ever been type of mark. That's not really a bad thing because just in a few years, that lowest it's ever been, let's say 2025 is the next cycle top, that's 12K Ethereum, but it's what used to be used as support. This used to be the mega support line, right? Even if that is used as resistance, which it probably is exactly what's going to happen, very likely, that's still a very healthy price Ethereum. So that's what these origin lines are. And that's kind of a long-term perspective. This right here, so this is super macro, the origin lines are. This is also macro, but this is bear market macro of 2 years. This is more like 6 years, all right? So this channel we're gonna zoom in here is still macro. So as you can see, it is still stuck in the same channel. And if you want to try to replicate this, I'm showing you the tools I'm using. I strongly suggest that you try to replicate this. And these are called rotated rectangles. And you can see where Ethereum is. It's at the very top of it. And what happened the last couple times? It got rejected. And rejected. However, this time something a little different happening. It really rode this origin line pretty hard, which is usually a really good thing. So you have two different things happening in general, and I don't think you're going to get a culmination of a good, of what's getting ready to happen until it busts out of this little triangle here. So right now, I'm not going to measure it for you on free YouTube, but you can use your measuring stick yourself. It is a tradable range. It doesn't look like it zoomed out, but this is like 5 years of price history. So 2018 is back here. That's 2018. That's the top, the 20K top for Bitcoin, and I think 1,300 for Ethereum in late 2017. So this tiny triangle here, it looks small, but it is tradable on 5x and above. And you could get about 15 days out of that. Yeah, about 15 days out of that, of about 7 to 12% moves within that triangle. Okay. I didn't mean to give you the exact percentages, but it's tradable, barely. And I don't think there's going to be any continuation move, like where you can let something rip and just keep walking your stops down or up if it breaks out. I don't think you're going to get any of that type of move until it's out of this triangle. So any type of profit or moves you make if you're trying to trade Ethereum, I would probably open and close it in that triangle for now. I would not be looking for the big short. Don't look for the big short here because it'll probably just go dunk, right? And that is my only specific hint. So that is one I'm showing you how I'm using my tools. If I were to short there, I would not try to think of that as the big short. I'm holding on to it for generational wealth throughout because Bitcoin is getting ready to go to 11K. This is not the exact moment. And that is the only specific hint I will give you outside of providing you with these two items that you really actually won't find anywhere else on all of YouTube for Ethereum. Because I don't see anybody else, well, I don't see anybody else using macro channel lines or origin lines. All right, now the EMA that I would use, I mean, really everything's dealing with the daily 200 right now. So here's the thing. If you want to front run that signal, you can use the 12-hour 200, and it is pretty damn valuable. And for Ethereum, I probably would use that. So I would use the 12-hour 200, but it's really far away. Well, it won't be forever. It's not a question of if this will be rehit. It is a question of when. Factual statements, yeah, it is a question of that. Unless Ethereum goes bye-bye, then it's never. So unless Ethereum is not traded anymore, it is a question of when, not if. So once it gets close to here, you can go down to these smaller time frames and then really get a better idea of what's getting ready to happen. So if it falls out of this triangle, you might get support here and try one more time is kind of what I'm thinking, like a double top type of deal. And if you look back there, that's exactly what happened. All right, but I would use the 12-hour 200. And if you go down to something like the 5-minute chart, last little hint, then this is it for free YouTube, is I'm trying to provide a good amount of value, but let's see, 12-hour. All right, that's it. Oop, right there. I did some multiplication so the small candles bounce off it more nicely, and it's a smoother line. Because if I actually had the 12-hour 200, it wouldn't have been a smooth line. Wow, that was a straight up breakdown and pop up above that. Dang, that's weird. That's strange interactions. There's really nothing you can do with that. That was way too fast. Well, it wasn't helpful on that last interaction, I'll tell you that. That looks like a straight up bear trap. Wow. Maybe not. Maybe this is not the right line. I might take back what I just said. All right, that should be. Yeah, it is the day. Yeah, I'm wrong. It was the daily 200. I would use the daily 200. So you could, I'm on the 15-minute chart. So once price interacts with this again, it could have just been a nice healthy pullback. So once the daily 200 EMA is touched again after a pullback, that's not necessarily the end. It could just, it could go below this and get back above and kablam. This could be a huge, huge bounce point. But you're not going to be able to tell by weekly and daily closures. Just look at, is it generally bouncing or is it generally getting rejected? On the 15-minute candles, but you're using the daily 200. And that is the last, but it will happen again. So go fast forward in time. Yes, price is way above it, but it won't be forever. It will hit this line. And I would still be fairly, generally macro bullish, generally like daily trend type of deal. I wouldn't be too fearful about Ethereum from an investor standpoint long term, unless it's below there. Now, if you're trading 5-minute candles, yeah, right now you're pretty bearish. Right? Totally different perspective, depending on the time frame. But let's say weekly and monthly time frame, as long as it's above this, I think it's okay. But if you want to go down to the micro time frames, then use the 1-hour 200 as the same concept as this, right? So the 1-hour 200 would probably be like this. And if you take the time to replicate what I have here and use the MTF EMA for the daily 200, you'll probably do fine and dandy. And my thoughts on the rest of Ethereum are on the stream on Discord. Or I mean on the stream on for the YouTube community tiers.